There's a hidden power inside you, a force so immense that once you master it, nothing and no one can truly harm you. This isn't a superpower from a comic book. It's a real, accessible part of your mind, described by one of history's greatest thinkers, Carl Jung. What if I told you that most of us are asleep to this power? That we walk through life vulnerable, exposed, and unaware of the shield we carry within. But what is this power? The answer is closer than you think, and it will change everything. This secret lies not in building walls around you, but in understanding what's already inside. Jung called it the process of individuation. It's the journey to becoming your whole, authentic self. Most people believe that to be strong, you must be perfect, flawless, a polished statue. But what if the opposite were true? What if real strength comes from embracing the parts of yourself you've been taught to hide, to fear, to deny? This is where the journey begins, in a place most people are terrified to look. The shadow. Jung's concept of the shadow is one of the most misunderstood ideas in psychology. It's not evil. It's not a monster waiting to devour you. The shadow is simply everything about yourself that you are unconscious of. It's the collection of traits, desires, and impulses you've disowned because society, your family, or you yourself deemed them unacceptable. Think about it. Have you ever felt a flash of envy, a surge of anger, or a moment of selfishness and immediately pushed it away, telling yourself, "That's not me"? That feeling you pushed away didn't just disappear. It went into the shadow. And here's the dangerous part. The more you ignore your shadow, the more it controls you from the outside. It projects. You start seeing the very traits you deny in yourself and other people. That coworker you can't stand because they're so arrogant? Perhaps it's a reflection of a confidence you've suppressed in yourself. That friend whose selfishness drives you crazy? Maybe it's mirroring a healthy self-interest you were taught to feel guilty about. The shadow doesn't just go away. It finds a way to be seen, often by making you miserable. The world becomes a mirror of your own disowned self. And that's where your vulnerability lies. You're fighting an enemy you can't see, because that enemy is you. But what happens when you stop fighting? What happens when you turn around and face this shadow? This is the first step toward invulnerability. Jung believed that confronting the shadow isn't about defeating it. It's about integrating it. It's about recognizing that your anger, your fear, your ambition, all those dark parts are sources of immense energy. Anger can become a powerful fuel for change. Fear can become a compass pointing toward what you need to overcome. Selfishness can become the self-care you desperately need. But how do you even begin to do this? How do you look into the darkness without getting lost? The first technique is radical self-honesty. Start paying attention to your emotional reactions. When you feel a strong, irrational dislike for someone, ask yourself, what specific trait in them is triggering me? Is it possible that this trait is something I've repressed in myself? Don't judge the answer. Just observe it. This practice is like turning on a light in a dark room. At first, you only see dust and cobwebs. But with time, you start to see the forgotten treasures hidden there. This isn't about becoming a bad person. It's about becoming a whole person. And a whole person is infinitely stronger than a good, but fragmented one. This brings us to a fascinating paradox. We spend our lives trying to be liked, to fit in, to wear a pleasing mask for the world. Jung called this mask the persona. The persona is the version of you that you present at work, with friends, on social media. It's useful. It helps us navigate social situations. But the problem arises when we mistake the mask for our real face. When the persona becomes our entire identity, we become so afraid of showing what's behind the mask that we lose touch with our true selves. And this is a prison. A person trapped by their persona is incredibly fragile. A single criticism, a single failure, can shatter their entire sense of self because their identity is built on something that isn't real. True strength, the invulnerability Jung spoke of, comes from having a self that is independent of other people's opinions. It's knowing who you are, with all your light and all your shadow. When you've done this work, criticism no longer feels like a personal attack. It's just information. Failure is no longer a verdict on your worth. It's a lesson. You're no longer a fragile vase, terrified of being broken. You become more like water. You can be pushed, you can be contained, but you can't be broken. You simply adapt and keep flowing. The power to harm you is never in the hands of others. It was in the gap between who you pretend to be and who you really are. By closing that gap, you take that power back. But there's another layer to this. It's not just about integrating the shadow. It's about connecting with something deeper. Jung spoke of the self with a capital S. This isn't the ego, the I we think of as ourselves. The self is the totality of our being, the conscious and the unconscious combined. It's the organizing principle of our psyche, the inner compass that guides us toward wholeness. Think of the ego as the captain of a ship steering through the waves. The self is the whole ship, the ocean, and the stars used for navigation, all at once. When you only live from your ego, you're constantly battling the storms, terrified of the vast, unknown ocean. But when you connect with the self, you realize you are part of the ocean. You are the storm. How do you connect with this deeper self? Jung suggested paying attention to the language of the unconscious. Your dreams, your fantasies, the strange coincidences or synchronicities that seem to have a hidden meaning. These aren't random noise. They are messages from your inner world, guiding you toward what you need for growth. Have you ever had a recurring dream? Or a song that gets stuck in your head right when you're making a big decision? The unconscious is constantly speaking to you. Most of us just aren't listening. Start a dream journal. Write down those strange thoughts and images without trying to analyze them at first. Just give them space. You are opening a dialogue with the wisest part of yourself. This dialogue is the key to unlocking the next level of your inner power. This journey of individuation, of integrating the shadow and connecting with the self, is what creates true resilience. It's what makes you untouchable. Not in a physical sense, of course. Life will still throw challenges at you. People will still act in hurtful ways. Pain is inevitable, but suffering becomes a choice. When you are whole, an external event no longer has the power to define your inner state. An insult can't harm you because you know your own worth, light and dark. A betrayal can't destroy you because your foundation isn't built on someone else's loyalty, but on your own integrity. You are no longer reacting to the world from a place of fear and fragmentation. You are responding from a center of calm, integrated strength. This is the ultimate freedom. The freedom from the need for external validation. The freedom from the fear of judgment. The freedom from being a puppet to your own unexamined emotions. It's the quiet confidence of someone who has walked through their own inner darkness and is no longer afraid of it. They've met their demons and realized they were just forgotten parts of themselves, holding immense energy and wisdom. They've mastered themselves. And as the great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do. Jung's path leads to that same tranquility. So, the power that makes you immune to harm is not a shield you build. It's a wholeness you uncover. It's the courage to look at everything you are, not just the parts you're proud of. It's the wisdom to see that your greatest weaknesses hold the seeds of your greatest strengths. It's the commitment to a lifelong journey of becoming more and more yourself. This journey isn't easy. It requires courage. It requires honesty. It requires you to face things you've spent a lifetime avoiding. But on the other side of that fear is a strength you cannot even imagine right now. A peace that cannot be shaken. A self that cannot be harmed. This is the promise of Jung's great work. It's not just a psychological theory. It's a roadmap to invincibility. What is one part of your shadow you've been avoiding? What's one thing you dislike in others that might be a reflection of your own hidden potential? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could be the spark that helps someone else begin their own journey. And if this resonated with you, If you feel that call to become whole, then subscribe and turn on notifications. We're going to explore these depths together. Thank you for watching.